So we have half an hour left. So let's talk more about specific companies that we have rated. So Kwon and Huang, are you ready?
Sure.
So for MBS, I think we already announced a few months back. So maybe you go very briefly, and let's focus on Việt Capital Securities and discuss with the investor here, and then allow the people from the issuer, the company, to talk as well.
Yes, good point, Tuan. So as mentioned, MBS and VCI also both have the ICR issuer credit rating of A-, but their stories are quite different. For MBS, there are several credit strengths here, but the one I want to highlight in the next slide is that MBS is strategically important to the parent bank, and as a result, the company benefit from the parent bank management experience, technology, as well as the most importantly, the significant customer base. Okay, we move on to the next slide, Anton. And yes, so as you can see here, the MBS and MB Bank have very has a medium economic linkage, but the parent bank has very high moral obligation according to our framework to support the subsidiaries company, and that's why the issuer have we give them 3 notch up for external support in this case. So I'm gonna move past to Huang to talk about VCI.
Okay. So it's my honor to be the lead analyst for the Việt Capital Securities rating action. So I would like to explain the our assessment on VCI credit score. So if you look at the rating snapshot, you can see how we derive at the issuer credit rating for VCI. As Kwon has mentioned in the previous part, the our anchors for securities companies in Vietnam is BBB, and we think that VCI has a strong business position as well as the good funding and liquidity position. So that's why the final score for VCI is 2 notch higher than the anchor for a securities firm. We believe that the credit strength for VCIs come from their leading position from the well-diversified revenue stream. It is well-established institutional client base that have somewhat more limited impact from the downturn in for the decline in liquidity level. And also its long-standing investment banking and advisory activities, we think is the key for their business success. Along with that, we assess that their debt profile right now is advantageous in comparison to others securities company from their low cost foreign syndicated loan and credit line from domestic banks. But on the other hand, VCI has some limitation to the credit score. We acknowledge that the investment activities is a integral part of their value, their business value, but the exposure to unlisted equity position, which is more illiquid, is a constraint to the rating score. Also, in the past 3 years, the decline in brokerage market share due to the retail, due to the fiercer competition is also a limitation. So in the next slide, I would like to explain our detailed assessment of each segment, business segment of VCI. For the brokerage activities, they have the leading position for institutional brokerage with top 1 market share in the last 3 to 5 years. The market share is about 25 to 30%, and they have the long-established reputation for that, especially for foreign institutional clients. For the retail segment, they consistently rank in top 10 in terms of market share, and their target client right now is high net worth client acquired from the IB and advisory relationship. Moving forward, for the margin lending segment, we assess that they have the conservative margin lending policies with only 166 stock ticker in comparison to like the average number of more than 200 tickers. We believe that the highly speculative stock are not allowed for margin lending, and it is I think very prudent risk management practice. The thing that I want to highlight next is the investment activities. I think given the VCI exposure to investment activities, as is account for like half of their operating revenue, we believe that the risk management capability and the investment philosophy is a key factor when we underpinning the risk profile of VCI. We assess that VCI investment team focus on long-term strong fundamental companies rather than speculative trading, and it is quite somewhat different than other companies. I think the advantage come from their IB relationship and also the strong research capabilities that they can keep looking for good investment activities. Although the large exposure on unlisted equity is a constraint, but they are all the position are leading players, leading company in their sector with strong fundamental, and that's why we think that VCI has a strong capability to withstand a major economic downturn. And for the last part, the investment banking and advisory service, although the contribution to the revenue and the profit is minority, but we think that it is the key for their business success. They are the leading IB house for IPO and M&A advisory service with long list of mega deal in the last 10 years, and the strong relationship with other clients and prominent players is a huge quantitative advantage for VCI. So that's basically the our assessment for VCI credit highlight. And you can see from this table is the credit performance versus peers. We use the figures to demonstrate that the effect from the current low liquidity level is somewhat limited to VCI. First of all, in terms of profitability, you can see at ROE first half 2022, it is not annualized, but only for the 6 months, they can still maintain the ROE at 10.5%, or annualized is more than 20%. It is still a very good level in comparison to the peers. Also, the debt to equity reflected the financial risk profile is lower than peers. So I think that the two key evidence that we believe that Việt Capital Securities will have a relatively stronger credit performance in comparison